Welcome to the Voice Newspaper and Global Sport in Colour sports magazine show. We're here for our top of the year Premier League preview. It's been a while. Last year, Michael made some great predictions. I'm here with Michael Facey from Nothing Long TV, sports editor of the Voice Newspaper, Rodney Hines. We're going to do it all again and see if we can get it a little bit closer to the truth this time.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Nice to see you back, boys.
Yeah.
Good summer?
Yeah, nice to be here. Yeah, busy summer.
Busy.
Good one.
Well, it was busy for you guys.
Summer of sport. Yeah, it was wild.
Bit of netball.
Bit of tennis.
Cricket.
We watched tennis while we were watching netball.
Yeah, Formula One.
Yeah. I left the netball to get back for the cricket World Cup final.
Yeah, enjoyed that.
And
Man.
what
Oh
fun that
man,
was.
tell me about. Trust me,
Once in a lifetime.
once in a lifetime.
Right, but that's all that stuff
Yeah.
out now, right? This is
Now to the serious
get back
stuff.
to the
Serious.
football, the week by week stuff.
Yeah.
All kicks off tomorrow, so you know when we're shooting this. Liverpool Norwich. Before we get into Liverpool Norwich, we was at the Community Shield. Keep calling it Charity Shield. We was at the Community Shield on Sunday. Good game.
Great game.
Two teams who come to entertain. How do you see those two teams faring this season? That's a question for both of you. But before that, there was an issue, or basically a bit of a topic of discussion, centering around the amount of games that players, have to go through in the course of the season, especially if it's a successful season. Your thoughts on that? Because Stan Collymore seems to intimate, he's one of the ones that put the question in the press conference.
Yeah.
He seemed to intimate that they're playing too many games.
It's a physical work what the boys are doing, and on top it's contact sport. Means each little, the things we cannot judge before, but medicine and sports science is not that far, that they tell us about a player's in danger before he is in danger. A lot of injuries happen in the moment when a player becomes tired and the body doesn't react as the body should react in that moment. And that's a problem. So how can we make sure that the boys have this time? And people will say, make the squad bigger. That's just not possible, because football is about a team building, and you cannot tell the players, yes, we have now 4 weeks off and we play with the other 20. That's a completely different situation. It's a lot if we only bring 11 players together, let them play. Without that kind of belief that being a better group than maybe the other team can help you win the next game, even if they are stronger. That just doesn't work. We cannot do it like this. In the biggest sports, I would say, in America, they have all these. They play a lot of games like hockey in America, whatever, and all this stuff. But they have really long breaks then. And it's not again. That's how it is. You can play a long period, but then there should be a break.
The NBA, they play incredible amount of games, but they have 3, 4, 5 months off. And that guys finished. Riyad Mahrez had 10 days off. Mane cannot be here because he's 10. So anyone demanding. You won the preseason and now you play against Bayern Munich, against Barcelona, Madrid, and you don't lose. The people start to say, this is a disaster. It's going to that. We have to pretend. And I know, because the people say, for the amount of money the players win, for the amount of money the managers win, you have to play. That is not normal. Honestly, that is not normal. So the preparation we have in Asia, and after come back here in 1 week, play a game with this high intensity. So, but when we finish that, create new competition, new competition this summer. It's create everything, and they don't listen. They don't listen. The players, the managers, what is the best to protect, especially the players. Because at the end, I don't play. I can be every day being a manager and having a game. I don't run. But for the players, they should consider it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Pep answered it really well. Because they're playing 50 to 55 games at the sharp end. 55 games at the sharp end. How much tactics can you put in there? How much fitness can these guys really have? They will break down, especially at the intensity that we saw them playing over the week at the Community Shield. And it was very short, sharp, fast, powerful. It was a different level of football. I mean, as I was saying to Rodney just off camera, we've seen these guys, we've seen England play. And we've seen them play somebody like, I don't know, a European side, not a top European side, and it's a slower game of football. Now we're watching the Premier League, and these guys, it was fast and ferocious and patterned, and it was a lot. There was players on the floor, as me and you saw when we was there, that was their knocks, and that was just after pre-season. And then they're flying around the world to the European competitions as well. There's no recovery times, there's a lot of games. Yeah, man, I agree.
one of the things, Rodney, which seemed to be a consensus between both managers, Klopp and Pep, was that it's cool playing games regularly. That's fine, no problem. It's the period in the middle where they get to break. It's not long enough, and that's what they were saying.
Recovery, yeah.
There's not enough of a summer break. You know, I can't remember who was it. We'll go to the footage in a minute, but someone compared it to the NBA. They play every other game, every other day. It's incessant. It's hard. 80 games throughout the course of a season, regular season, but they have a 3-month break. You know, which allows their body to recover. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm going to be a little bit different and just say that it's all business, guys. We've got to remember that. I mean, it's all right saying that, but then the bigger teams are, when they could potentially take a break, they're travelling halfway around the world to generate income during the close season. In terms of Klopp's point, in terms of the Community Shield, with all due respect, Liverpool would have died to win in the Community Shield not long before, because it meant they would either have won the league or the FA Cup. Makes sense. So and that's the price of success. That is really the price of success. I remember when Arsene Wenger would say, "Well, I only want to take my team to Switzerland in the." Do you remember? You wouldn't do the global tour.
The long haul.
Now they're doing the long haul because that probably means that adds to your transfer budget, etc., etc. So let's be real about it. It is a challenge on the players. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at Sadio Mane, he's gone into the Champions League final, come out a winner. Sorry, June the 1st.
The first shot.
He's then gone and played in the Africa Cup of Nations.
That's exactly what.
And he's pivotal to Liverpool's attempt to win the league, which is the thing they really want to do. So what break has he got? And it's only until, sadly, players start breaking down will probably people start to take notice. But there is a break coming. There's a winter break coming in the Premier League.
Do you think that will do any good?
No.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will.
I think it'd be a bit like VAR, waste of time.
Absolutely.
VAR's not a waste of time.
All right, cool.
You know,
only
but it's all business. So at the moment, no one's gonna call that off. You play, and you play.
I think one of the touch points that Jurgen actually said is it doesn't allow the coaches and the managers enough time to employ more tactics as well, to give us more as the fans in the game to watch, so they can employ different tactics.
But I think he made a great point actually, insofar as because the natural thing would be just to get a bigger squad and more players and stuff. But he said he can't be the manager that he is. If the squad's too big. That was the line. He can't put an arm around his players.
That's right, because he's got so much other to do. But Liverpool got to a Champions League final like Tottenham, so Mr. Pochettino, Mr. Klopp. The price of success is that, and the one thing I wouldn't agree with is why that final was on June the 1st. It was like 2-3 weeks after the season, to make sense.
Is that too far
away? It's too far away.
Too far away, isn't it?
The players lose form.
We felt disconnected, didn't we?
Disconnected to the whole thing. You know, the cricket season had started by the time we got round to that.
Disconnected.
But a little bit like the Africa Cup of Nations now being part of the summer calendar, things are slowly shaping, you know, because we do need a calendar that suits everybody, but it won't suit everybody by the same token.
It won't ever suit everybody.
But we do have, with the African Cup of Nations, and we are still talking about the pressure on the players, we do have a scenario, because managers in the Premier League or around Europe would complain that in January and February, when you're chasing titles, African players would disappear. They're now not doing that, but it puts the pressure on the Manes of this world, etc., etc.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny, I never understood that, because they would sign these African players and then moan about the African Cup of Nations. It didn't make any sense.
No, but he's accepted it now. They've accepted it.
No, because they've moved the tournament, which is unacceptable in my opinion. But anyway, it's done now. Friday, tomorrow. First Friday game of the season kicks off. I mean, this is a normal thing now, isn't it? Friday games.
We have to get used to that.
And the fact that it's kicking off the season, just one football match. I mean, it's a bit bizarre, don't you think, Rods?
Yeah, it's all changed, though, isn't it?
What's all that
but
about?
it's to suit the TV companies, though, isn't it? Suit the TV companies. And I would imagine the viewing figures for that would be, for the Liverpool-Norwich game, would be quite good tomorrow.
I mean, listen.
Because it's the only game. It's the start of the season. It's the team that
do you know
lost
what?
out by 1 point.
They've done a couple last year. As a Man United fan, we was one of them that was on Friday. I enjoyed it. Because it was different. Yeah, it was different. You sit down with the people that you're around, and you just chill. Have some dinner and watch a bit of football.
And of course, you had your Saturday, if you like, on the Friday, and then you could relax.
Yeah.
Especially if you won.
Yeah. Yeah, if you won.
If you won, the Saturday, Sunday, you're just watching everybody else.
Yeah.
It's something we have to get used to. It's to suit the TV companies at the end of the day.
I didn't mind it.
Do Norwich get rolled over in that game?
I don't think they get rolled over, no.
No?
I think that if ever the promoted sides come with a zest and an energy, if you're a Norwich player and you're making your Premier League debut at Anfield, you're going to give it everything.
Rods, they get rolled over.
You're motivated.
Rods, they get rolled over.
What's
they get rolled over.
What's rolled over?
Nah, rolled over. 3-0.
Well, for me, Liverpool aren't up to speed as yet. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Do they need to beat Norwich? Do they need to beat to roll over Norwich?
Well, it's a little bit like, for me, it's an FA Cup third round tie mentality.
Right.
The home team, the expected team will dip slightly, maybe just mentally. And the lesser team, with all due respect,
I'm not having a bar of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not having a bar of it.
Shall we?
Hang on. We saw Salah over on against Man City. He was shooting, and he had about 8, 9, 10 attempts against City. All of target.
Do you know?
I'm saying
I'm
saying now, he's got a point to play.
But let me explain why that Community Shield, which sometimes is a game that most of us could ignore.
Yeah.
But you see the quality of those two sides, the rivalry, the 1 point difference.
You have to raise
That's
the
why it
standard.
made it special last Sunday.
Yeah.
That's why you had nearly 80,000 people in the stadium.
Yeah.
Because invariably we could all bypass that, couldn't we?
We could have.
But those were the two teams that went head to head.
Oh yeah.
They're the standard bearers, man.
The standard bearers. So that's why
that was a level.
In, you were there. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
Big games on the Saturday. Before we get to Tottenham Villa.
Yeah.
United,
Chelsea.
Yeah.
On the Sunday.
Oh, that's on the Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
Arsenal. No, let's start with
That's Sunday as well.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So we're playing first then. Well, let's do Tottenham.
The two big games, I think, on Saturday, the lunchtime games, West Ham at the London Stadium against Manchester City.
Right.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think
for West Ham.
For West Ham, and then I think the interesting one will then be your evening game and my first visit to enemy territory.
Hello, turf.
Will be
First visit over there.
Tottenham versus Villa, and I don't think that'll be a given either. I really don't.
I don't know. I think we're going to roll them over.
There is no form at the moment, gents.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There is no form.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree. I agree with the no form shot.
Everything's
And
for Villa and Norwich, we mentioned earlier on, happy to play those games now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I spoke to a Villa fan only yesterday, and he says, "Listen, Rods, we're going to come out fighting. We've spent lots of money on lots of players, but we know we're going to take a beating or three."
That's a fan, isn't it?
But that's true.
Yeah.
It's just a fan.
As a promoted team, you're going to run out of steam at some stage.
Totally agree with the fact that they're going to come out guns blazing. They've spent a lot of money. It's a young team.
Young team, yeah.
And what the manager's done down there is he's kept that team that got promoted together.
Yeah.
He's rewarded them for their efforts.
And they need that.
I think, listen, that was a shrewd move on his part. You know, there's a nice nucleus of players who have already got an achievement under their belt. If I've seen some of the pictures from their promotion and how they celebrated and what it meant to them. Now they've got their focus on staying in the Premier League, and I reckon they're going to do that. They're not going to get no 3 points at White Hart Lane. I don't think they're going to take a point. I think they're going to get moved.
White Hart Lane's like the Wembley. Like teams go there to win.
There you go.
And invariably, no one really done that last year.
Yeah,
someone won there last year, didn't they?
Yeah, a couple.
Somebody won there.
Yeah, no, a couple. But it's not
because you was going through that.
It's not a regular thing.
I mean, listen, you've only been in a couple games.
Yeah, you've only been. You're not even warm yet in there. You're not even warm there. Teams are going to come to the new stadium and want to win. No, it's not agreed. It's not a fortune. It can't be because you haven't been there long enough.
And you've been breached.
Listen, okay.
You've been breached. Yeah.
West Ham done us.
You've been breached.
And if it helps you, they did us at the Emirates as well. They were the first team to win.
They're up for London games, though. They're up for the derby.
They're supposed to be, though.
And then they're fighting relegation.
You're right.
And you're fighting relegation. It's supposed to.
I mean, they've got different priorities. Let's have it right.
I think what's good about all of it is even the new players coming in, no one's gelled. So, like Rodney said, you just don't know what's going to happen. There's no form. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. And that's how we like it.
Yeah.
So, what do you reckon of the teams that are coming up then? So, we've got that have come up. Sheffield United, they're going to survive. They've got Bournemouth. Nice, easy game.
I don't think they'll survive because something that we talked about in terms of Huddersfield last season. Yeah. Who's going to get you 20 goals a season?
Yeah.
Or 15, maybe.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Lukaku.
You need a
Show
goal
some
scorer.
respect.
There's no doubt about it. You need a goal scorer. And I don't think Sheffield United have that. I think they'll be safe, tight, and tactically aware, but I don't think they'll have that. Villa excite me.
Yeah.
They've spent some money, and I tell you what, they have some pace in their team.
Yeah.
Trust me. There's a
got
couple
good
of
pace.
names. They've got some good pace.
Couple of them
And
on there.
pace kills. I think that's something
Pace
we talked
does
about
kill.
before.
Definitely.
Kills. And who was the other team that came up?
We spoke about all of that. So it's Norwich, Villa, Sheffield United.
And Norwich, not sure about them
I don't
either,
think- I'm not sure they're going to survive either.
goals-wise.
Interesting game. Villa, sorry,
He's obsessed, isn't
I am.
he? Nervous. He's nervous.
Palace.
He should be.
Everton.
That's a good.
Interesting because
What,
of
Zaha?
what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Zaha-
as we speak, Zaha is still a Palace player,
right.
but
He
handed in his
put in
request.
writing, according to
Yeah.
today's press, he's put in writing
Yeah.
that he wants to go.
so Palace Everton, is it? Did you
Yeah.
say? I just put
Depending-
Everton to go there and win. I think there's going to be a little bit of discord in the Palace camp.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not make any mistake.
They've lost
Zaha is by far and away their best player,
Yeah, but they've
and
lost-
if he wants to leave,
Mm.
yeah, I don't think it sets you up
And they've lost Aaron.
Why does he want to go with it?
Wan-Bissaka. They've lost him too.
Why does he wanna go with Everton?
because Arsenal came in early
Mm.
for him, made it quite clear. But then they got the Pepe deal over the line very comfortably.
So,
For me,
so
Everton-
because of the ease of the Pepe
The
deal,
ease of the Pepe
and,
deal.
and obviously it's
But, I mean,
convoluted.
But I think Everton also, out of Everton and Palace, Everton have more chance of being in Europe, whether it's
Oh, without
Europa
doubt.
League
I expect Palace to have another.
or breaching the top six. It's
I
Everton.
can see Palace in a relegation battle.
Yeah, you find Palace in
Yeah.
this battle.
They're not a club moving. Yeah, and if your best player wants to go, so if you say to most people that are not Palace supporters, Zaha goes, who's your go-to man? We're all struggling, aren't we? Who's your go-to man at Palace when he goes?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Troy Townsend. Why you
And
laughing
and
at
Troy's a
Troy?
good player.
Big up Troy.
Troy's
Big
a
up
good-
Troy, you know,
not
but he's
Troy.
not the go-to
Not
guy.
Troy. It's
No,
Andros, you
sorry.
mean?
Andros.
Andros, yeah, that's what I said.
Troy, you mentioned
Troy.
the podcast.
That's
isn't
why I
it, right?
laughed. That's why I laughed.
The
didn't it?
Townsends are just
Troy Townsend,
notorious. Sorry, Andros.
Andros.
Sorry.
Andros is the next best.
So his play days are long behind him.
But
Big
I don't know.
up
I can see it being a grind for Palace.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. I don't understand why, and maybe I'm just naive in that respect, why Zaha will put himself in this position by signing the contract last season, knowing that he probably wanted to exit.
And that's why people
That
and
make no
pundits
sense.
say football, you just don't know what's going to happen sometimes. It's madness.
You
isn't
kind
it?
of did at Palace, and that's my point. You can kind of predict what's going to happen. They're not going to punch above their weight. They're not
but
gonna-
listen, when a player like that signs a deal like that, and the club obviously ratify it, it's to make his value even greater.
I was
when
going
he
to
does
say
leave.
For the club.
For the club.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
If you're a player and you're
And he's
savvy,
probably got a wage rise in that as well.
No.
Well,
It's no, but sometimes loyalty in terms of a man putting his arm around you, because he might have wanted to leave last year, and a man might have put his arm around him and said, "I beg."
that seems to be the common thing. When a player wants to
seen
go,
it.
there's like,
We've seen it
sign
with
a
Ronaldo at
contract.
my club.
Yeah, so, I mean,
De Gea,
your defender, Koscielny, didn't he sign a contract?
Yeah,
So,
gone.
and he still went for no.
It's something that
peanuts,
you've always told me. It's meat market.
but That's what it is.
When the player wants to go, David Luiz skips training because I want to go Arsenal.
On strike.
Haven't been told he's not going to be a regular starter at Chelsea under Lampard's regime. Gone. Got his deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't make
Gone.
him a starter either.
Has he gone?
He's on his
is
way.
that
Well,
over the line?
it's almost done.
Yeah.
Lukaku, the same.
I wouldn't
You
start
know.
him either.
Doing social media, you know, and getting fined.
What
the
about
best
Pogba?
part.
Pogba ain't going nowhere.
Good move by United or not?
What, to keep him? No, you have to keep him. I think Pogba's
And
one of those.
do you keep a disgruntled player?
Exactly.
I don't-
And we've been here before, haven't we?
But then this is for me. There's only so much knowledge we have being on the outside.
Of how disgruntled he
Yeah,
is.
because ultimately it's down to Ollie looking at his boy and knowing if he's disgruntled or not. And if Ollie's looking at him and they're having
Mike is
conversations,
disgruntled. He's disgruntled, Mike.
I don't know. if
This
he
time
is.
last
He
year,
wants to go.
Mourinho
Yeah, but
on the first Friday night game against Leicester, if I got it right, gave him the armband.
Yeah, but
There's talk of giving him the armband again, and it's this pacifying.
my thing is this, innit? That's a regime under Mourinho. Now we know for a fact, as we've seen, that a lot of players weren't happy under Mourinho. Now Ollie's come in. We've seen a totally different ball game and mentality of the players. Now I
not
watched
sure about that,
I
Mike.
watched the pre-season games,
Yeah.
and they all looked up for it. Now whether or not that's sustainable for the whole season is another thing. But I think at this current moment in time, in the back of his head, he's probably 50-50.
Or just wants Champions League football, fam. Let's have it right.
Yeah.
Let's have it right.
But it's the 1 year contract thing, isn't it? sign the 1 year deal, keep him for
I think
a
it's
year.
a really
do me a favour.
I think it's a
and then
really,
you can
I
go.
think it's a really pivotal season for United and the man.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the money's there again.
Yeah.
50% of your back four is now English
Yeah.
and expensive and quick.
And quick.
In terms of Wan-Bissaka, who I think will be a great signing. Harry Maguire, I'm not quite sure about at this moment in time.
It's
But
a good signing.
he's been back now.
And the left back
the
they've got as
manager.
well, still, isn't he?
Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure about him either, but not sure
Luke's
about him
good
either.
when he
He's done
don't
alright
complain
last
about
year.
injuries.
He had a good season last year. I
Luke's
thought,
really
I thought
good.
Mourinho brought him on last
Yeah,
year.
I
he
think
did bring-
I think Luke is tried and tested. You know he'll do a job. You know what job he'll do. That's the end of it. He's not going to try and do something so clever.
And Lindelof is progressed nicely as well. Listen,
They're
as I
back
said,
five.
there's
I think they've done great business.
Especially if De Gea is up for it again, because towards
They're
the back
back
end of
five.
last
back in the
season,
last year, he was
yeah,
woeful.
He was, but I
But
can
People were
imagine the man
shooting
being
from the
decent.
halfway line because anything could have happened.
He's tired, isn't he? He's mentally tired. He's tired with it all. Isn't he?
But the man's been saving them for how many years?
He's
man,
tired of it all. So I think once that all gets shored up, we've got half a chance. It's more about
Half a
can
chance
we-
of what?
Top four?
Definitely top four.
Definitely. You heard it, yeah.
Definitely top four.
I
I think
We
this,
heard that last year as well,
I
though,
said
didn't we?
definitely. That's
No,
only
but-
like if you're saying you're definite,
yeah, I'm definite.
so the two that finished first and second, they've got to be definite.
Yeah.
So who's the other one?
That's the
That's
gamble.
the lottery, yeah?
That's the lottery.
So that's Chelsea, Arsenal.
Tottenham.
Tottenham.
The reason why I say
And,
that, right?
don't forget a
can-
resurgent Everton.
Can I put my cards on the line?
Put them on the line.
This is the reason why I say that was purely and simply, as it always does, as it always happens. Once a manager leaves, like Mourinho did, we saw those crop of players showcase for over 10 games what they're capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
If they hook it together with a good pre-season and they've strengthened the back line, potentially we've got a good team there.
I mean, I agree with you on 50% of that, but then after that run of 10, 11 games, United were poor.
Yeah, but
There's no. I mean, with all due
I
respect,
agree.
the shock, and maybe the shock result of what had many shocks,
Yeah.
was the last day of the season. A United team for me, who for me owed their fans something.
I think they were
Last
done
home game
by
of the
then, man.
season, Cardiff City already relegated.
Yeah, I think they
come
were
to
done.
Old
I think they
Trafford
were
and
done.
win. Come on.
No, I think they were done. I don't compare. I don't look at those games. I
Yeah.
think those players were done. And they
Maybe,
were already on
maybe the
holiday.
injection of the new signings will give a different mentality.
I just think every year we like fans. I think everyone goes into it with a different insight into. Let's give
We'll
it
put
a
it this
go.
way: at this time of the season, everybody thinks they're going to do something positive.
It's true.
So we agree there.
Yeah,
City, Liverpool.
that's
In
50% of the
in
top
whatever
four.
order,
Yeah,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Rods, where are Arsenal in that after that?
In a serious shake-up. Seriously.
Yeah.
Simply because, based on last season, Arsenal fluffed their lines lastminute.com. Where it be the Europa League, working backwards, and then 2 home games back into the seasons against Brighton
He just wouldn't have expected.
and against Palace.
Yeah.
Now, with all due
was
respect,
crazy.
and don't forget Arsenal's home form last year was more than decent. I think it
Yeah.
came only third to City and Liverpool, right? You had 6 points up for grabs,
Yeah.
and you actually only took 1. And then they fail to get into the Champions League by 1 point,
Yeah.
and then 2 points, and then Chelsea above that as well. That was the most frustrating thing for me last year. In a season where people said, "Oh, they're going to fall off new manager." I think Emery did a great job.
Yeah.
I think he's had a great transfer window. I think that while they're not all superstars, I think that you can now see somebody in the hierarchy up there thinking about what they're doing.
And I think also Chelsea's transfer ban is a major thing that's going to hinder them.
You think so? It's not going to be a help. You think it's going to hinder?
I think Chelsea are going to surprise you.
I think so too.
I just think the fact that Aiden is gone and he saved them for the last 3 years, I think they're going to realise how much.
Totally agree with you,
it's
Mike. But
about.
I think that football is about new heroes. Because
Who's the new hero in that side?
He's a new hero. I don't know yet. That's what I'm saying.
Callum?
Someone will emerge.
He's a
But
good
what I'm
player,
trying to
he's
say,
a
I
good-
think Chelsea might surprise a few people because they've got a legend at the top. I think that will just galvanise what can sometimes be a very disaffected set of fans. Right? There's no. It could almost be siege mentality type thing. We've got no transfers to get involved with. Let's work what we have.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, Chelsea got some talented youngsters.
They do have talented
The Tammy
youngsters.
Abrahams of this world. That's a blow to Villa in the first place, and he was there last year. So I think Man United Chelsea on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a marker game, as I said to you off
Definitely.
air, and I think Chelsea are going to come there
And lose.
Wow.
That's the end
I'll
of
leave
it.
that to you. I'll leave that to you.
It's going to be an interesting season, no matter which way we look at it. Can we start to look at goal scorers? Who's gonna peak?
Same old.
Same old.
Yeah.
I really want to. I can't. You guys, Arsenal, because one thing that Arsenal fans was loud about last season was Oba and Lacazette.
They're always
And the
loud.
combination. They was loud.
No, but they're always loud.
But they scored a lot of goals for a first year partnership.
They were the main reason that Arsenal had a decent season.
Yeah.
Decent with a small D. Challenged for the top four and got to a major final.
See, I'm really looking forward to seeing them guys there get together, and obviously the addition
With Pepe.
with Pepe
Nick,
there as well.
Yeah.
Tottenham, obviously, we haven't finished our business in the transfer window, but what's new? Hopefully, Levy,
No, but at least you're in for
Levy
players
pulls it
now.
out.
You're in for players.
I mean,
And class players as
we're
well.
always in for players. It's not.
No, but you
being
bought a couple now.
We bought one high
Yeah,
quality,
yeah, high quality, yeah.
and one youngster,
Yeah.
and sent him back to Leeds,
Yeah,
even though
sent
he's
him
quality as well.
Yeah, he's quality.
Looking forward to when he comes back next
So you
season.
do, and you're in for a few deals, which was better than last year.
And my thing is this: I don't like just being in for deals. I want to see him over the line. If we can
Well,
secure some of these players, then hopefully in 48 hours we'll know. But it's a big hindrance. It's a big hindrance. I think that the rest of Europe doesn't close their window
massive.
at the same time as us.
Massive.
And that's going to have.
I
That's
mean,
going to have.
think that's rude, isn't it?
the Premier League took a good step by closing the window before the game
Before the
start.
season started,
So
yeah.
that was a big tick.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the Europe is still going, so you could still lose a player.
Big blow, man.
It's rude, man. It's
Doesn't make
rude.
no sense.
You know?
Spurs, I think, will finish top 4. Say no more on that one.
And who do you think will then close out that fourth place?
Yeah.
I think the top 4 will be as was last year.
Okay. So you go for Chelsea over United and Arsenal.
Yeah.
See, I think Chelsea, purely and simply because of Champions League, that's where they might become unstuck. Just Champions League.
Chelsea,
Yeah. I think those
because they're in the Champions League.
because they're in the Champions
Right.
League, and that's where those points get dropped.
It's something that I've got to always bring up. I've got to bring up Arsene Wenger because when he was getting 2 decades worth of Champions League football,
Yeah.
and not necessarily ever in with a genuine shout of winning it, apart from 2006 when we got to the final,
Respect it, boy.
people used to laugh at Arsene. Is that the height of your ambition?
Yeah, yeah,
Top 4,
yeah.
but it generated income for the
did.
football club.
Yeah.
Okay, gave us prestige in terms of players coming to the club. Now I look at the ambitions of
United,
arguably the biggest club in the world.
Yeah.
I look at a club with a massive, beautiful, spanking stadium and moving in the right direction on many levels. The ambition is the top 4. No one's talking about winning the league. Makes sense.
That's the truth.
No one's talking about winning the
Everybody's
league.
keeping it real because
Everyone's got to keep it real.
Is probably the most difficult thing to do.
More so
After
than
that,
ever. Yeah.
finishing top 4 is definitely.
But you say that, but let's just say, let's look at Liverpool as the catalyst for this next conversation. What did they do? Klopp came in, a couple of dodgy seasons. Yes, you could see the potential.
Yeah.
Then he was given a splurge of money.
Well, they
Agreed?
generated it. They
They generated, yeah?
They generated it. Good business.
That's the model you got to follow, and you would appear to be following.
No, I think-
add United's ability to buy players, pedigree. Why can't there be a third genuine rival
Listen,
for the title?
I don't think we're too many signings away from being able to say we can challenge, and that's the beautiful
Would you
thing.
say you challenged last year?
No.
Interesting. And you come fourth.
Yeah.
And
I
got
don't
to the
think-
Champions League finals.
I don't think we
There you
challenged.
go.
I don't think we
Interesting.
challenged. I don't
You was
think-
close. You was close to a
No,
certain
I
point.
think-
I think.
I don't think you can finish 20
2
odd
months,
points,
no,
over
but
20 odd points.
I think 2 months out, when you look were 1 point behind the top 2, you was in.
But my thing is, those periods in the season don't mean anything. Like, that's not a challenge to me. That's just actually...
part of the jigsaw.
You were close at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah,
You were
it's part
doing
of the
well.
jigsaw.
You know what I mean? Like I said to you off camera, we hadn't drawn any games. Where it was either winning or losing.
Yeah.
So, but I still didn't look at my team and think, yeah, we're challenging. You know what I mean? So, it's
Listen,
just, it's the same.
the standard's been set that when Liverpool have the fantastic stats that they have and they still don't win it, it tells you
That
what
was
the
mental.
standard is.
Yeah.
And then at the other side of the fence, when the team under pressure, whether they played first or they played second over a weekend, Man City won 14 successive games. Think about that, guys.
mental.
That's nearly half a season.
It's mental.
of
The last
success.
14 as well.
And the most important
The most
14.
important 14.
Yeah.
The one that
And
got
won
them
it
over
by
the
a point.
Yeah,
and won it by a
and
point.
won it by a point.
Having lost 2-3 games,
If you're Liverpool, you're gutted.
you're gutted.
I listen.
They got a trophy out of it, innit? The biggest one in Europe. So
Not the one.
they're
not the one they want, bro.
True.
Not the one they want.
Not that guy.
Spence.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Let's leave it there. We can rattle on for ages. We'll be back next week, but it's going to be a great season no matter how we pattern it.
And we decided on who's going to win the league.
I think we're all agreed in it. I think
No,
we've
I've
said it without
gone for
saying it.
Liverpool.
Oh,
I've gone
you
for
going for
Liverpool.
Liverpool?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
going
said
for
Liverpool last year.
Yeah, I went for Liverpool last year. I think they're a fantastic team. I think they've got another Champions League in the cabinet. But I know what they really want.
They ain't
up at
getting
Anfield.
nothing this year. I think the most they're
You're a
gonna
Man
get-
United supporter.
the
You're a
most
Man
they're gonna
United
get
supporter.
is a League Cup.
Nothing.
They're gonna get a League Cup and an FA Cup tops. I'm done with them. I put my money. I put my house on them last year.
I think Liverpool
They get
finished
nothing.
top 4, as I said. I don't know. Don't know if they'll win it. I
He's now
can't
homeless.
see past City, if I'm honest.
I can understand that.
For all the reasons I've written in the voice. Have you got this week's paper? Is it behind you?
Do you know what?
No.
Grab one in the office quickly.
Shall I grab one?
Yeah, grab one.
Stay there.
Yeah, grab
You know
one.
what it is?
Don't go away.
It's Pep. It's Pep, mate. Pep is the difference for
You
me.
think?
Pep's the difference. Even celebrating after the end of the year party and just being in touch with his players.
We've gone on the back page with 2020
Do
vision.
you know that
See it
2020?
there?
That's such an apt back page because the vision started how many years ago?
There you go.
2020.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
How many years
Yeah.
ago?
There you go.
And now they're on the verge of doing something really special.
And it was a 10-year plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Go on in on the manager. Yeah, pick up your voice this week. Some good stories in there.
News about the voice as well, haven't we?
definitely,
Coming up over there as well. So yeah, it's all good. So City, Liverpool.
All right, you're City as well, yeah?
Yeah, I can't see past them. They showed me a level last year, even though I saw a resurgent Liverpool, and they showed a level. And as a United fan, you got to respect it.
Yeah, you have to.
I love it at Man United. Their worst fears. It's a
It's
nightmare.
them two sides.
You had to endure it for how many years? So
Exactly.
it is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but their business model is ridiculous, so it set it up. So yeah, you can't complain.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Share, like, support, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.